So, leadership ladder. Ooh. So, to find it. Okay. So, leadership part 2. Computer is being slow. Okay. So if you guys were on last week, then you know we went through the levels 1 and 2. Today we're going to go over 3. I was going to do like 3, 4, and 5 today, but I think it's better to take more time to like actually go through the levels and not just like burst through them. If you guys were not on the team call last week, I'll be posting the link for it tonight, so that way you kind of get a better understanding. The quote at the bottom I found, I really love it, and it says, leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. And that's honestly, guys, what it's all about. Okay, recap. So just in case you were on last week, or just in case you were and you kind of forgot, the level 1 is position. So that's like when you're getting the title, but you haven't earned it, and people follow you because they have to. A good example for that is, for example, when you signed up as a coach, you are given that position, right? You're given coach, but just because you're a coach doesn't mean that you have a following, or it doesn't mean that you've earned like the leadership title, but you definitely can, so that's a positive. Level 2 is permission, and people follow you because they want to, and it's based solely on relationships. So that's when you're getting to know people, you're getting to know your coaches, you're building those lasting relationships. Again, with this, it's the same thing. It has to keep going. So you can't go to level 3 and forget about level 2. You can't go to level 4 and forget about level 2. Like, you kind of have to keep building on top of these. So level 3 is production. This is where it separates like real leaders from wannabes. When you're level 3, your leadership takes off and it shifts into another gear. So like if you're a good leader, you're going to get results. You're going to make things happen. It's not just about you anymore. It's about your team as well. So everybody's producing. For coaching, it'd be everybody hitting Success Club, everybody hitting Emerald, everybody moving to Diamond, that type of thing. When you get to this level, it gives you confidence, it gives you credibility, it gives you influence, and it attracts other highly productive people. A lot of people don't tend to move to this level because they can't seem to get results. So if this is you, if you're struggling to get to a level 3, usually people don't get here due to a lack of self-discipline, work ethic, organization, or skills to be productive. But if you want to go higher, you just have to produce. There's like no other way around it. And honestly, guys, like if you really think about like getting to a higher level, and I know sometimes you kind of get like held up in those excuses, right? Like, well, I just can't do this. Like maybe Beachbody isn't for me. No, like that's not how it is. Like anybody could do anything with this business. Like short and sweet, you can. If you are not, it really does come down to those lack of self-discipline, work ethic, or skills. And the good thing about all those are you can change them and get better. Okay, so the upside of production. The first is leadership. Production gives credibility to the leader, kind of we just talked about. So when you are an authentic leader and you know and show the way, right, people want to be with you, and people want to be like you. And when you're like this, you're going to take your team where they want to go. You're not going to be like, oh, do this. You're going to actually take them there. If you've heard Andrew talk, and I've mentioned it in some of the calls, like if you're a leader like this, you're in the trenches with it. Like, for example, me, I am in the trenches with you guys all day. Like, I am inviting, I'm following up. Like, I know you guys know I'm doing the 20 and 30. Like, I am doing all the things that you guys are doing. Like, I am right there with you. And when you're at this level, you live on performance and not on your potential, and you lead by example. The second thing, the upside, leadership production models and set standards for others. So when you're here, you're setting examples for your team. I know everybody likes to say like, oh, like do as I say, not as I do. No, like people do what they see, like plain and simple. If you want your team to be dedicated, thoughtful, productive, you have to be the same. You cannot be something you cannot be something and not want your team to be the same way, because they're going to watch you and they're going to do the same. So let's talk about Success Club for a second. If you are not hitting Success Club and you are wanting your team to hit Success Club, more than likely they're not going to do it, because you as the leader, you're not actually doing that. Again, this is just something you have to do in production, right? So a task, and I really think you guys should do this because I think it's really helpful, is to list all the qualities you desire in your team and then compare them to your qualities. Whatever you desire a quality in others that you don't possess, you need to create like an action statement describing what you must do to possess a trait you like to see. Guys, just don't write it down, just don't be like more confident. Like, you need to write how you're going to become more confident. For stuff like that, it's usually going to involve personal development. If you need help coming up with a way to create your action step, just message me and I will help you. The third, leadership production brings clarity and reality to the vision. I love talking about vision. I don't know if you guys have noticed, there's a team vision in FIT.LOVE.BELIEVE. But good leaders consistently communicate vision of the organization. They do it clearly, creatively, and continually, but that does not mean everybody understands or embraces it. At this level, you communicate your vision through action. When followers see positive results and see goals being met, they get a clearer vision of the picture, a picture of the vision. Example, vision, top 10, living life by design, like living a charged life, financially free. When you kind of see people do that, then you start realizing, like, that's the vision. Like, that's the vision I want. That's a vision for the team. But again, like, if you are this person, if you are the leader, you need to be doing this. You need to be getting financially free. You need to be having those results. You need to be signing up coaches, hitting your goals. Level 3 leaders help their people see what productivity looks like. With each step of productivity, the team gets close to making the vision a reality, and that encourages the team, validates their efforts, and make the vision more clear. I don't know why this is yellow on here. I'm not touching anything, so I'm sorry. But exactly what I just said is that. How do you get this off? Why is it on there? Sorry, I don't know why it's on there. Okay, let's try it again. Leadership production solves a multitude of problems. So many people in leadership positions try to solve problems by using systems or paying others to solve it. The truth is, leaders cannot delegate solving problems to anybody else. They have to be active in breaking through obstacles, putting out fires, correcting mistakes, and directing people. Leaders on this level could do this. I know it's not anybody's favorite thing in the whole world to solve problems, especially when it comes between like teammates or, just in general, anything negative. A lot of people kind of shy from. We did talk about this in level 2, though. Being a leader, you have to do this. Like, you're going to have to do things that make you uncomfortable, but you are going to grow from that. The 5th thing, leadership production creates momentum. Momentum is what we all want, guys. When well-led organizations sustain high moral and high productivity over time, they gain momentum, which is your best friend. Momentum helps you do everything more easily. Production leaders understand momentum and use it to the team's advantage. They also understand the 3 types of people. There's momentum makers, who are people who make things happen, aka go-getters, right? 2, momentum takers, people who go along for the ride, and person 3 is momentum breakers, people who cause problems and hurt the morale of the team. As a leader, you must put your majority of your time into momentum makers and have candid conversations with momentum breakers. Give them a chance to change. If they don't, you must let them go to prevent further damage from your team. Number 3 kind of reminds me of like those negative Nancy's, you know what I mean? Like, where you're posting something positive on the team page and like, well, it's never going to happen. People like that, like, we don't really want to have part of the team. I don't really feel like there's anybody on our team who's like that, just because I feel like when I'm talking to people about coaching, I kind of look more for people who aren't like that. But, definitely, like, if people are, this is kind of where it comes back to where I've talked to a few of you about when people are rude to you, right? Like, when you're talking to them and they're rude, and I'm like, why? Don't even be sad that they didn't order from you. Like, those are not the type of people you want. Those type of people are probably going to be momentum breakers, and you're not going to want them on your team anyways. Um, 6, leadership production is the foundation of team building. So who wants to lead like a champion team, right? Nobody. People love being the winning team, and winners attract people. Your leadership is going to determine if your team is a winning team or not. And if you have the winning team, everybody's going to want to join you. So remember, if you aren't a proven producer, you won't attract and keep other proven producers, which is why you need to succeed on level 3. Your goal is to have leaders in your team, to have people who are producing, who have people who are changing lives. But in order for you to do that, you have to be doing it yourself. I know when I was first starting, before, like I was diamond or emerald, I might have been emerald, but I just had a few coaches and I was just like lollygagging almost, you know. I didn't attract proven people. I didn't attract people who are like go-getters. Like the moment I started like actually believing and started working the business, and I started getting go-getters and I started getting people like me. You attract what you are. So you really need to work on personal development if you feel like you're not where you want to be yet, because it totally helps. The downside of level 3, just like everything, there are downsides. So the first one is being a productive leader leader can make you think you're a leader when you're not. That's what I was trying to say. So all great leaders are productive, but it is possible to be a producer and not be a leader. So personal success does not always translate to team success. Leadership is defined by what a person does with and for others. It is established by making the team better. Good leaders must establish their position on level 1, gain permission on level 2, and be productive on level 3, and possess the desire to take the whole team to the next level. If you are just focused on yourself and you're not focused on your team or your future team, you are not a leader. Being a leader is caring about others as much or more than you care about yourself, guys. 2, productive leaders feel a heavy weight of responsibility for results. Many leaders tire at level 2 and they don't go on. They have days when they wish no one was watching, nobody was looking for them for direction, but an effective leader understands the cost of leadership is carrying the responsibility of their team success on their shoulder. That is a weight that every single leader feels. Starting on level 3, you will have to decide whether or not you're willing to carry it. It's true. Like, I know I speak for myself. I know I speak to other coaches. We have leadership calls, and I know that this is something everybody feels. Like, just because we care so deeply, we want you guys to all succeed. Like, I don't care if you're on my team. I don't know if anybody not on my team's on this call, but I know your upline wants you to succeed. And, you know, it gets tiring because we do feel your successes and we're so happy, you know, but then when you have a bad day, we feel that and we feel stress of helping people be successful. But at the end of the day, guys, it's worth it. And I hope you decide that it's worth it for you too. So the third, production leadership requires making difficult decisions. Success is an uphill journey. People don't coast their way to effective leadership. Going first may not always be easy or fun, but it's always a requirement of leaders. It paves the way for people to follow and increase their chances of success. There's a ton of things that go along with this, but what kind of I think about is like jumping out of your comfort zone, right? Like, nobody wants to do that. I remember like the first time I posted like my story on my wall, like I was so nervous, but I had to be that person. Like, I had to be that person for my team to go first and show that, you know, like, we could do this, you could do this. Like, it empowers people. And it did, you know, like a lot of you guys share your stories and a lot of you guys share your struggles and your results. And I really feel like that's been a huge thing for this team. But you being the leader, you always have to go first. So even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if it's hard, even if it's something you don't want to do, being a leader, you just kind of got to do it. 4, production leadership demands continual attention to level 2. Kind of going back to what we said earlier, guys, you can't just leave a level behind, right? You cannot stop caring for the people that you lead. You do not leave the last level behind. There's a temptation for leaders on the production level to neglect relationships in pursuit of achieving a good bottom line result. However, if leaders do that for an extended period of time, they burn their relationships with their people and eventually find themselves back on level 1. Example, you are dedicated, right, to hitting emerald. You like need those coaches. So you're like talking to people. You got your 2 coaches, bam, emerald, you hit your goal. Okay, so now you're going to go for a diamond. So while you're going for a diamond, you are asking more people. And you start getting 8, 10 coaches, but the first 2 you just stop talking to, because the newest 2, you kind of feel like they're go-getters, so like you don't need to talk to anybody else. If you do this, those first people are going to fall off, especially if they're people who wanted to work the business and they needed you there, and you just are focused on your own goal and not focused on like your whole team and building that relationship. They'll fall off and you'll lose rank. Like, it is so easy for you guys to lose rank. I'm sure like if you've been Emerald and you dropped it, I mean, I'm Diamond, I've dropped a coach before, like it kind of just happens. But you don't want to do that. And so in order for you not to do that, you need to really continue on level 2, no matter what level of leadership you're on. Best behaviors in level 3. The first one is understand how your personal gifts contribute to the vision. There's a strong relationship between giftedness and effectiveness as a leader on this level. The more focused you are within your talents, the more rapid the rate of growth. If you are a leader, you must have a sense of your vision for leadership, and it must align with the vision for the organization you serve. Obviously, right? That kind of makes sense. One of the hallmarks of successful leadership is knowing where every person adds value. Productivity has to start with the leader. Focus there first, and you will earn opportunities to help improve and reach others' potential. 2, cast vision for what needs to be accomplished. Vision casting is a really, really big part of this. Fuzzy communication leads to unclear direction, which produces sloppy execution. Pretty much, if you're not clear with your vision, then nobody's going to know, and everybody's just going to go whatever way and be confused. Productive leaders create a clear link between the vision and everyday production. They show how the short term impacts the long term. They are clean in their communication, points the way for the team. This kind of just reminds me of Success Club and building your vision, how that's going to help you. You guys know it's going to help you. Hitting Success Club is one of the number one things. Residual customers, leads, you're going to earn more income. People who hit Success Club are proven to make more money in the future. You guys know this. That's the way it's going to go. A compelling vision is clean, well-defined, expansive, and challenging. It is aligned with shared values of the team. It is primarily focused on the ends, not the means. It fits the giftedness of the team, and when it's communicated and understood, it fills the whole room with energy. If you guys have read the vision statement on Team Fit, Love, Believe, that's kind of what that reminds me of. I know when I read that, I got filled with so much energy, and I was just so excited to have the team there, and I hope that does that for you too. That's why I have it on the team board. Honestly, guys, even if you don't have a team yet, I really, really recommend writing a team vision statement just so you have it there when your team does start, and it'll be easier for you to create that vision for them since you already have it written down. Leaders give their teams the greatest possible chance of successes in achieving vision when they do the following 3 things. The first one is help people define success of the vision. How can an organization be successful if the people in it don't know what the target is? So team members need leaders to describe the vision and define success. Take time to carefully craft your communication and deliver it as creatively as possible. 2, help people commit to the success of their vision. The commitment of the team begins with the commitment of the leader. Teams do not win unless their leaders are determined to do everything they can to succeed, to dedicate their productivity to advancing the organization towards the vision. Through this, the leader gains credibility and their people gain confidence to follow suit. 3rd, help people experience success. First few things inspire people as much as victory does. As individuals on the team get to experience small success, it motivates them to keep going, to reach for longer successes. If you want your people to be inspired to win, then reward and celebrate the small daily victories they achieve. Make them a part of your personal victories. Give them as much credit as you can. Not only does it motivate people, it also helps them enjoy the journey. I'm sure you guys know, when you get your first challenger, you get your first coach, it's so exciting, right? You're oh my God, and you start liking it more. That's what these are, have those little successes. And even if you're not selling challenge packs yet, or you haven't signed a coach, give yourself successes, inviting to success, following up to success, working out. You could give your guys little successes. Don't just feel like it has to be huge. Best behaviors continued. The third, we got off, but the third is begin to develop your people into a team. Production makes team building possible. That is accomplished by a leader who is willing to push forward and lead the way. So 4 successful things leaders need to keep in mind. First, team members should complement each other. The second, team members should understand their mission. Good leaders never assume that their team members understand the mission. Don't take for granted that they know what you know or believe what you believe. Don't assume they understand how their talents or efforts are supposed to contribute on the mission of the team. Make sure to communicate. The third, team members should receive feedback about their performance. Fourth, team members should work in an environment conducive to the growth and inspiration. Your attitude sets the tone for the team. If you want to have a happy team, you want the morale high, and you want everybody to be go-getters and positive and compassionate and empathetic, you have to be that way too, guys. Your attitude will set the mood for the whole team. Best behaviors. The fourth, prioritize the things that yield high return. So to be an effective level 3 leader, you must learn how to not only get a lot done, but also get a lot of the right things done. That means understanding how to prioritize your time, tasks, resources, and people. Staying in your areas of strength and out of your area of weaknesses is one of the keys. And if you could help others on your team do the same, you could be successful in level 3. Okay, so here is something they had in the book, Pareto Principle, I guess, and it kind of talks about what we were just talking about, your to-do list. So if you do the top 20% of your to-do list, it will yield an 80% return of your efforts. That's the whole motto for this. So to find your top 20, you have to ask yourself, what is required of me, aka what must I do? What gives me the greatest return, aka what should I do? And what is the most rewarding to me, aka what I love to do. If you're new or if you're on the lower levels of leadership, your must-do list will be the largest, right? Number 1. Your goal as you climb up the levels in leadership is to shift your time and attention to the should-dos and love-to-dos. And if you lead well enough for a long enough time and build a great team, your must-dos, should-dos, and love-to-dos will end up all the same. I don't know about you, but that sounds perfect to me. Mine are pretty close, though, I must say, like, because I love what I do, what I have to do, and what I should be doing. As you lead your team, try to help every person get to the place where they are doing their should-dos and love-to-dos. That is where they'll feel the most effective. So, guys, if you're just feeling like you must do, like, we're going to have to figure something out because you need to be loving it in your should-dos. So your team, this is a way to get there. You should, 80% of the time, you need to work within your strengths. 15% of the time, you need to work within your learning zones. 5% of the time, work outside your strength zones, and 0% of the time, work in your weakness zones. I kind of feel like the 15 and the 5, you're going to get to the point where you're learning and you're strengthening, that eventually your weakness zones are going to be littler. You know what I mean? So you must really know your people, understand their weaknesses, strengths, and be willing to have candid conversations with them. Okay, back to basic behaviors because we keep going all over the place with all these side notes. The 5th, be willing and ready to be a change agent. Progress always requires change. Change in an organization is always a leadership issue. It takes a leader to create positive change, and the best way to start working as a change agent is to do what you do when you're trying to build relationships. You need to find common ground. Leaders who make changes are often tempted to point out differences between themselves and others and then try to convince others why change is needed, but that rarely works. Instead, focus on similarities and build upon those. Look for common grounds in these areas: vision, values, relationships, attitude, and communication. If you find or create common grounds in these areas, you can move forward and introduce change. 6, never lose sight of the fact that results are your goal. There's a big difference between level 3 leaders and critics who simply theorize about productivity. Good leaders have an orientation towards results. They know results always matter regardless of how many obstacles they face, what the economy does, what kind of problems or people experience, etc. They fight for productivity and are held accountable no matter what, even when they experience success. If they gain momentum, they don't back off and coast. They press on and increase the momentum so that they can accomplish even greater things, and they help their people do the same. Beliefs that help a leader move up to level 4. So say you're getting that leadership thing down right on level 3 and you have a team, they're doing good, and you're ready to move up. There's a few things that help you move up to level 4. The first is production is not enough. So developing people so they can lead with you is better. Great leaders measure themselves by what they get done through others. That requires developing a leadership culture. Seek higher levels where you can change people's lives. That's why I'm doing these leadership calls with you guys, and that's why I'm digging really deep into a lot of leadership and passing it along through calls, is because I feel like when your life truly gets changed with Beachbody, I mean, to like where it's an unbelievable amount, I believe it's on these levels, like the 3 and the 4, you know, where you're helping other people change their lives, and that's changing your lives. Like, I just feel like these are the best levels to be at, and I want everybody to experience it. The second, people are, or an organization, most appreciable asset. The greatest potential for going up in value are people, but only if they are valued, challenged, and developed by someone capable of investing in them and helping them grow. People don't appreciate automatically or grow accidentally. Growth occurs only when it's intentional. Think beyond production and start thinking in terms of how you can help your team improve themselves and tap into their potential. 3, growing leaders is the most effective way to realize vision. Companies get better when people get better. The better leaders, the better potential. You cannot overinvest in people. Every time you increase the leadership ability of a person on your team, you increase the ability of the team to fulfill its vision. Everything gets better when good leaders are leading and creating a positive, productive work environment. 4th, people development is the greatest fulfillment for a leader. Few things in life are better than seeing people reach their potential. Oh, go away. One of the keys to develop leaders at any level is seeing people not as they are or how others see them, but as they could be. Seeking what could be and helping to make it reality, it takes vision, imagination, skill, and commitment. If you help people become greater on the inside, they will eventually become better on the outside. If you invest in people, they will never be the same again, and neither will you. It is impossible to help others without helping yourself. Goes back to what I'm saying, guys. Like, I know watching people on this team grow and becoming leaders and growing their own teams, like, it is the best feeling. And I want you guys to experience that because, you know, you think helping people lose weight is priceless, and it is. But even more, helping people like get out of debt or be able to like afford things or be debt free and changing their lives like physically and emotionally and financially. Oh my God, like just being a part of that is so priceless, guys. Like, I want you to experience that. Okay, so this call is over. What we're going to do is I'm going to have everybody, so I can see you. I'm going to have everybody log off real quick and then get back on in 3 minutes. And we're going to go over comparing yourself to others. That one's going to be short and quick. It'll probably be about 15 minutes long, but it's a really good one. So I really hope you get on. So log off, come back on in 5 minutes, and let's talk about comparing yourself. Okay, guys? Just use the same link. Just click on it again.